Hello and welcome to my channel. This is JLo Olivia, mom in real life, and in today's video I'm going to be comparing the MomCozy breast pump that I've done a couple videos on and I absolutely love it, and my Freemie pump, which is also a pump that I really enjoy, but we'll go over the pros and cons of both of them, compare which one I think is better for certain situations, because I do like to use both of them. So don't mind my MomCozy pump, because this is the one I primarily use, and right now I am on my pump break at work, so I will be doing like a demonstration. So this is the collection cup. Like I said, I am in the middle of using it. I don't wash my pump in between usage all day, so it might be a little cloudy and there might be a little excess milk. So I'm just going to show you the collection cups side by side. Now this is the Freemie cup, and as you can see there is some difference in the size already. They're about the same diameter, but I think, let's see if I can stack it. Can you see that? I mean, they're actually about the same size. It's just a little bit difference in the shape of the back of the cup. The Freemie is a little bit more pointed and kind of more natural boob-like shape, whereas the Freemie's more, I'm sorry, wrong one. The Freemie's more curved like the natural boob shape, whereas the MomCozy not so much. So there's the collection cups. The next thing are the motors. Now, obviously for the MomCozy motors, there's going to be two of them, one per cup, since they attach directly to the cup. Sorry, I'm trying to get this lighting. There we go. All right. So you can see the difference in the buttons that you have available, and that is upside down. There we go. So as far as usage, they're both relatively easy to use. The MomCozy only has 4 buttons across it, one to increase suction, and I think it has 5 levels, one to decrease, and then the 2 suction settings. So this one is for the letdown, and then this one is more of a steady, so this is more rapid flow, and this one's more of a steady flow, and then there's that power button. For the Freemie, there's that power button there. You can control the speed and the suction, and then you can have 3 different settings that you get to control the settings. So as far as customizing the pump session, this one is better for that, since you can control the speed and suction, and that's one thing I really do love about this pump. The MomCozy, you obviously don't have as many options, so you can't really customize your pump session as much. You can control the suction, not the speed on here. There we go. So you can increase the suction or you can decrease the suction, but you cannot increase the speed. The only button to do that would be the letdown button, and it's only at 1 increased speed versus the more steady speed. So now that we've compared them both, as far as like customizing your pumping experience, I definitely highly recommend the Freemie for that. Now, even though I think the suction settings are more superior with this one, it is still not my go-to pump. I still tend to use the MomCozy more, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually insert those, because like I said, I am on my pump break at work, so I do need to do that. So for setup, now obviously my cups are ready together, but it's still a pretty simple process. Your cups together, just make sure everything's like truly connected. It was kind of squeaking earlier a little bit, and sometimes that will happen if something's not connected right. So I always just go ahead and pop the motor on, and I like to put my thumb like right in the flange area and just push up while holding the top of the motor, just to make sure that's connected correctly. And I'll go ahead and set up my other one. So actually I think I got a little bit of milk in that section, so I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe that out real quick. And sometimes that will happen with the MomCozy. You might get milk in this top part. Now obviously make sure your hands are clean when handling your pump. I keep hand sanitizer like right by the door if I'm gonna pump in. I mean, I'll keep it for other reasons, but if I'm pumping in my car, I just go ahead and sanitize my hands real quick. So you can just go ahead and get that milk out of there if you get it. Go ahead and pop it back in place. And then you put the cup back on. And definitely make sure you have that seal completely connected. So just run your fingers around the perimeter, push in the center, making sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Go ahead and stick that motor on. I push up in the center of the flange and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. So this is kind of the trick part. Not the only, but one of the things I don't like when turning on the pump is that you kind of gotta like hit the buttons at the same time. It's kind of awkward. At least I personally like when they're on the same rhythm. It's not a requirement by any means. So don't feel pressure that you have to push the button. Like you're still gonna get your milk out with no issue. It's just a mental thing for me. I don't like hearing two different sounds. Which you don't have to worry about when you're using the Freemie pump. So let me get that other cup out. Now here's the part of the Freemie where it absolutely sucks. Sorry, I'm trying to find the correct tubes. That's another thing. So I have 2 sets of tubes for the Freemie. And this honestly right here is the only reason I don't use my Freemie as my main pump. Because I cannot stand dealing with tubes. They get in the way. I always hook it on something or myself. And then that leaves you with an extra piece to tote around, which is, you know, the pump, the motor part itself, which is honestly one of the most important parts. If you're not pumping, like, that's how you get the milk out. So yeah, biggest thing I will say about this, if you ever need replacement parts, so like I did, I tried to cheap out and get this part. I think I bought it like off Amazon. And you can see this is what that looks like up close. Now here's the actual Freemie one. You see the difference? It makes a difference. Just go ahead, spend the little bit of extra money and get the one that's actually meant to go with the pump. Otherwise, you're only gonna disappoint yourself. This falls out so easy. It's so annoying, and I've cut it to make it as convenient, like as easy as possible, and it still absolutely sucks. I only keep this in my bag because if it's an emergency, say my tube breaks or something goes wrong, I do at least have something that I can use for my pump. So you saw my setup of the MomCozy pump. It was pretty simple, easy, pop it right in the bra. I don't have to really think about it too much. Now I do still have to be careful with my movements because I can still knock it around, so I'm not gonna go jogging and everything with it. However, you can still work out with it, and I will be doing a demonstration on that in another video of how I work out and pump. But with the Freemie, we're gonna start with just, see, I'm already frustrated with these tubes. So some of the key differences with it, obviously the tubes. But I will say where the Freemie wins at, in addition to being able to customize the pumping experience, if you look how it connects versus the MomCozy. Now listen, it actually like clicks in place, whereas the MomCozy kind of just like the rim sits there. So the downside of the MomCozy is a lot easier to spill, which is where, like I said, the Freemie wins at, because it does not leak as easy because it has that seal. So with this, I still need to be careful, but I don't have to be as careful. Like under your bra area is usually where I'll get the leakage with the MomCozy, because that might flip open. But with the Freemie, that does not happen. The biggest thing with the Freemie is honestly the tubes. That's the biggest downside, is the tubes. And I know you saw my raggedy tubes. I really need to replace them, or I can probably just cut these parts off. But if you look closely, some milk did get into the tubing. Luckily it didn't get into my pump, thank goodness. But that's one of the things you need to be careful for when using the Freemie. So say you were to like lean over. If you lean over too far, you could end up making the milk spill to the top, and it can potentially get into your tubing. And besides that, you have to keep in mind there's also a pour spout. Let's see, get it focused. Boom. There's a pour spout like right there, so don't mind my raggedy nails. So if you lean forward, that's also milk just spilling out on you. So it can still spill. So I'm not saying it's spill proof. It's just not as easy to spill unless you're just doing excessive bending. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. Obviously I'm pumping right now with my MomCozy, so I'm not gonna put this in. If you wanna see how the Freemie pump works, I do have another video on that. I can link it down below. So let's pretend I was putting it on. Usually, I like to start by putting the tubes in first, just because it's kind of annoying to do once it's in your bra. Kind of like how I do with the MomCozy, I like to put the motor on first. You can put it on last if you want to put the cups in there first. I personally don't like doing it that way. Same with the Freemie pump, I like doing it this way. So I'll go ahead and put the tubes in the cup, and then at this point, after I got my tubes in, I would go ahead and stick them in my bra, get them positioned on the nipple correctly, and at that point I'll take this long tube. I like to lace it through my bra so it's all underneath my clothing, because I don't really want to have to deal with my tubes outside. That's how you usually get them hooked on stuff. And then I'll go ahead and plug it into the motor. And yeah, so the biggest thing between them is just the tubing. Honestly, I would definitely say the Freemie is, I like it more for like the suction and how you can control the suction and speed, and you can have these preset settings that you get to set yourself. Whereas the MomCozy, you can't really customize the experience as much. However, the MomCozy for me is a winner because mostly just the convenience of not having to deal with tubes, not having to worry about getting stuck on stuff. It's just one less piece of product to keep up with. It's just a few less pieces. I have a little bit more freedom. I don't have to worry about knocking anything over. The downside is that the MomCozy does spill easier, so definitely be careful about that, particularly like the under boob. Also, if you don't have it tight enough against you, someone had kind of brought that to my attention, there's a chance that you can spill milk out of the flange. I haven't had that problem, but it's something that I've heard can happen, so just be mindful of that. With the Freemie, the biggest inconvenience is honestly just having to deal with the tubes. If you lean forward too far, you can end up spilling milk out of it or getting milk into your tubing. So just keep those things in mind. So overall, MomCozy is a winner for me, but the Freemie is definitely still a pump that I use to this day, and I absolutely love it. Oh, another good perk I just remembered. So I have to double check on this because I might be incorrect, but the Freemie pump was actually covered by my insurance. So that's a pump that if you have medical insurance, that you can get them to cover, since most insurance covers at least one pump to a certain amount. I know if you get like more of those luxury ones like the Elvie or Willow, it only covers like a certain amount of it. Well, at least if it covers one pump, so obviously you have 2 boobs, so you need to buy 2. So it would cover half the cost of like a full pump set if you wanted to go for the LV Willow route. With the Freemie, insurance covers that entirely. With MomCozy, I do not believe yet is on that list. I will double check and I'll have that link down below, that information, if it is, or I'll insert a little caption somewhere in this video saying that I was wrong and that it's there. So that's just something to keep in mind. But honestly, the price is still not that bad. So if you were to pay for both of these pumps out of pocket, the prices are pretty comparable. I want to say when I got the Freemie, I think it was retailed at about like $179 or something like that. The MomCozy for both pumps, I think it was about like $130 something. So yeah, not too expensive on either end. And that's pretty much those 2 pumps. So if you found this video useful, helpful, entertaining, give you some ideas of like, help you decide which pump that you want to get, just leave a comment down below and let me know if this was helpful to you. If you have any other pump brands that you discovered that you feel is comparable, mention those as well. So just to help out everyone with figuring out what they can get so they can be on this breastfeeding journey, make it as easy as possible, because it's not easy, but you know, just making it easier time. Well, thanks for watching.